Good day, adventurers! And today I'm going to talk to you about games. And I'm going to ask you a super simple question. But what is a game? Games have been around for a very long time. They're part of our history. They're part of our culture. We have played tag. We've played football. We have played many different sports games, board games, Monopoly, Scrabble, card games, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Uno, Go Fish. Games come in a variety of options. Even video games, there's a vast variety. And games are something that we use often. We use it for entertainment, we use it for social, we even use them for learning. And video games offer a wide variety of what you can do. You can play games where you can create your own stuff. You can build something. You can test it out. You can retest it. Does it allow this to function? They take you on a journey. What if I go to a planet? What would it be like living on a different world? It lets us to vision other characters. It allows us to make choices, good, bad, and to see what outcomes there are. We play Eco at Adventure Club. We can build our own community in that game. We can see what happens when we pollute the earth, or what happens when we come together and work together. Can we build a thriving and advanced civilization? We have entertainment games, sports games. Games are just part of our everyday life, and we can learn from them. So, today I want to talk to you about creating your own game on Scratch, and we're going to go over the basics. So you want to sign up for Scratch. Good news is you have 3 options. The first one, you're going to need your parents' help. You're going to want to then go to scratch.mit.edu, click the Join Scratch button, create a very unique username, then a password. You have to type it in again, and then hit Next. From there, it's going to ask for your parents' email address because it's going to send a link to them where they're going to have to click on it to accept your Scratch account. The next option is you can send Adventure Club what you want your username to be, and I can just add you in, and then I'll send you, of course, the password. Or down below in the comment, you should find a link. Just go ahead and click on that link and it'll get you to sign right up. So once you get signed in, you're going to be presented with a page kind of like this. And this is your dashboard. There is plenty of other options to explore, but for today, we are going to click on the Create button. In today's video, I am going to show bare basics on how to create your own game or animation. So let's go ahead and start on this side of the screen. First thing you're going to see is code. This is where you're going to put in your plug and play, or also known as Bloxy. First thing we see is code. And underneath that, you're presented with different options. And let's look at the first one, motion. Motions allow you to move your sprite around. Your sprite is portrayed over here. So if I click on this, have move, and then I just click on it, you'll see that he's moving 10 steps. Now that I keep clicking on that, he keeps moving. Inside the circle here, you have the ability to change. So instead of 10 steps every time, I can do 50. Now if you're just starting, you're going to notice that this character is still all the way over here. You can grab and move it anywhere on the screen in this area that you would like. So now that I've clicked in 50, I'm going to click it. He now moves 50. Oh no, our cat has moved off the board and we're going to pretend that we can no longer grab it. Well, how do we fix it? If you go down here, you're going to see a picture of your sprite and some information. On the X and Y, it shows the current position of our cat. If we click those to 0, you'll notice that it is now moved to the 0, which is directly in the middle. And we can get him back that way. Of course, then we have the turning. This is in degrees. It's a good way of learning our angles. So what does a 45-degree angle look like? And a complete 180. And that is the motion one. The motion one allows you to just change the current position where they're at. Next we have looks. Looks has the effects of allowing them to say something by text, change the way they look, or change other properties such as their size. So if I wanted my cat to say hello, for 2 seconds it'll say hello. And I can now have it say, "Hello adventurers." Now, if you're wanting one to just stay on until something else happens, you can just move over the say button, click on it, and now with until another command is added, it's always going to say hello. Now, if I want him to stop saying hello and I don't have the other program, you can just click this stop button up here. Change the size. What if I want him to grow bigger? So I can change the size by 10. Click, 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 click. And now my cat is becoming monstrous. Or I can say that the cat is walking closer towards me. Now, how do we get it to look like it's shrinking? Well, we can just add a negative effect. So we just do a minus, because we know minus means less. So minus 10. And if we want to get them back to regular size, we can just go down here under size, click 100. This is done in percentiles. So 100% is normal, 200% means twice as big. Next we have sound. Sound allows you to manipulate actual auditory, what we hear coming from our creature. So play the sound meow until done. Now, every time that gets clicked or used, it will meow until the sound file goes from start to finish. But if I want to do start sound meow, it does the same thing. The difference between the play meow until done and start sound is play sound until done will go until the whole thing is finished, but start sound, you can interrupt it in the middle. Then stop all sounds. So if you put it in a loop and keeps going, you can click on that to stop all sounds. Changing the pitch or the way it sounds. Put this one on top. Okay, so we're going to put this one on the bottom. Change the pitch to, let's go 50. And we get a different sound. And of course, we can always change the volume. Make it louder, quieter. Next up, we have events. This is an important one. It marks the start of an action or something that you want done. So this is what we use in combination with other parts. If I put in when the green flag is clicked, and our green flag is located up here, then this happens. Let's say hello for 2 seconds. Hello. And that is how that one works. Then we have action ones. When the spacebar is pressed, something happens. So when the spacebar is pressed, it should say hello for 2 seconds. So I'm going to press the spacebar. And now we get the cat to say hello or whatever else we have put inside there. Next, and when the sprite is clicked, so when I touch it with the mouse, click, it says hello. Okay, up next we have when loudness is greater than, and this symbol right here is the symbol for greater than. If it's pointing the other way, it would mean less than. But when the loudness is greater than 10, it's going to perform that action. Now, you're going to have to give permission to your computer and to Scratch to use your mic to be able to use this one. So I'm going to say, when I am louder than the 50, which is given, it's going to say hello for 2 seconds. Hello. Now there's plenty of other ones that you can use in here. Some of them are a little bit more advanced, and we will deal with those at another time. Our next button is control. Control allows for more detailed actions, such as repeating, looping, or creating scenarios where if something happens, then this happens. That's something that we kind of learn in our classes. If we do this, then this will happen. Okay, so we're going to look at repeat. Repeat means that it's going to perform the same action over and over again when it is clicked. So if I'm going to have move 10 spaces 10 times, click on it and move 10 times. Forever is a nifty thing, as whatever you put inside of it will always be going. So if I put in move 10 and then click on it, it's going to keep going 10 steps. And as you see, I'm just dragging it over to this area over here, which deletes. We have next, if and then. So if whatever's inside this area happens, then this happens. This one combines with other ones, so we're going to go ahead and put this to the side and come back to it when we get to an area where we can use this. And then of course we have a multiple one. So if what is inside here happens, then this will happen. If whatever's inside here does not happen, then this will happen instead. So else this happens. Then of course we can do repeat until something happens, and that is control. We'll talk about cloning another day, but for now we're going to move on to sensing. Sensing pairs up with control. As we saw this blank spot right here, if blank, then this happens. So if touching the mouse pointer, then move 10 steps. With if and then statements, you need to go to events and add something. When space is pressed, if touching mouse pointer, then move 10 steps. So my mouse pointer is on it, I'm going to press the spacebar. And you'll notice it moves until my pointer is no longer on the cat. Then we have operations, which adds a bunch of mathematical equations to it. So we have our greater, less than, or equal to. We have our variables, which are objects added in that we don't have a code for. So if we wanted something to keep track of score, we can add a variable of score. And then my blocks is a more advanced one where you can create your own block that does something very specific. We're not covering that today, so we're going to move on. Next over, we have costumes. Costumes is where you can edit or design your own sprites. And we'll see over here we have our cat sprite selected. If we wanted to create a whole new sprite, we can click down here. We can choose a sprite, which is just clicking on this, paint a sprite, or just get a random one. Or if we have a picture which has been done with like Microsoft Paint or anything like that, we can upload ourselves. I want to go with a surprise. It has given me a guitar. So I'm going to click on the guitar, click on costumes, and here I can edit it more if I want. And now I have a smiley face guitar, which is shown over here. Now costumes, which is this area right here, means a different look. So as you can see with sprite, costume number 2 is different than number 1. And if we combine them, it kind of looks like he is walking. Lastly, we have sounds. So here's the meow that we heard earlier. Click it again. Get that sound. And here we can edit it even more than we have done before. Maybe I want RoboKitty. Now if we click down here, of course we can again look for our own sounds, record our own voice, get a surprise sound, or if we have a file we can upload. If we don't like it, we can just delete it, re-add a new one. Over here we have our backdrops, and again it gives us this little slider right here that we can choose from. Choose a background, paint, surprise, or upload our own. Now if we want to move, as we move the guitar over on top of it, it over highlights the cat. If you want a picture or a sprite to be in front of something, all you do is click on it, move it just a little, and now it's in front of. Let's say that we've completed our project. We have multiple ways of saving. First one is just click Save Now, go to File, Save Now, save as a copy, or save to our computer. You can download the Scratch desktop app from their website, and this will allow you to edit or play games that you have saved to your computer while using Scratch, and you won't even have to be online for that. With Scratch, you can easily make simple animations and simple games. With more learning and continuing to explore, you'll be able to create more advanced animations or games. At the end of this video, I will show you one that I worked on, but for now, let's go using what we have learned to create our own quick little game. Like all games, and even animations, you're going to want to have a few things down before you start. I suggest writing them inside your journal. But you're going to want a start, a finish, and an end. We already got our character right now, and that's our cat. In your journals, I want you to write down what your objective of the game is. What are you hoping to accomplish? For me, I'm going to create a game where my cat will chase a fish around the board. And every time it catches it, he's going to score a point. So let's go ahead and get started. First, let's create a background. Where's it going to happen? For me, I've chosen underwater, and I need to get a fish for it to chase. Alright, now I have my fish. While looking through those pictures, I did see another cat that would probably work a little bit better for swimming than one that looks like it's walking. Alright, now that I have my sprites, or also known as my characters, and my background, I need to start creating the program. Whenever you start a program, you want to click on your main character, which of course is going to be my cat, and I'm going to add on the when the green flag is pressed, everything down here is to happen. Well, I want my cat to start at a specific location, so go to this coordinates. Then forever, I have an if and then. My if and then statements, I'm going to add in controls on moving the cat. So if the up is pressed, then I'm going to change my Y positive 10. And as we can see down here, X means left and right, Y means up and down. A positive Y means it'll move upwards, and negative Y means it'll move down. Then of course a positive X will move right, and a negative X will move left. Now I'm going to need to create 4 of these, so to speed things up, right click, duplicate, then I can just create a bunch of them, just add in what I need. Alright, now that I have my code for movement done, I'm going to quickly test it out. You're always going to want to test out as you do it to make sure that it is functioning the way you wanted. So clicking the green flag, test out the will it go to where I set it to? It does. And now it is moving. I got my cat movement done. I'm going to set up movement for my fish. Now I think the fish is too big. I am going to change the size to half as much. That's better. And now of course for the fish we are going to create the green flag. I need to set it to a specific location because I want it to be as far away when it starts. And then forever, I want it to glide around the board. And I want it to glide to a random position. As long as I do that, it's going to move around. Now I can speed this up, slow it down. It is up to you. Shrink the cat too. Alright, now that we have movements all taken care of, we're going to want to work on the scoring part. So to do that, we click on our cat. We're going to click on variables. We're going to create a variable. We're going to say points. So as we see up here, we have points. We can always click it off to get rid of if we don't want it on there. But now how do we get the points? Well, I said if it's touching it, then it's going to get the points. So we need another if. If touching fish, change the points by 1, which means it's going to give it an extra 1. Now, if there's one more piece you have to add, or else this points will stay on for everyone every time you play this. So it's great if you always want to just keep adding to your score, but we're going to go ahead and set points to 0. Oh, we start it up. Every time I touch the fish, I'm going to... Yep, there we go. So for every second you're on it, you get points. Now I don't want it to have too many points, so I'm going to create a wait control. So I can't score another point for 1 second. Since the fish is moving around half a second, that should be fine. And with that, the game is practically done. Of course, we can add in other things, like every time I touch the fish, I get a meow, or if I want to add on a little bit more difficulty, I can, on the fish, add in another, let's say, if I touch the cat flying, then go to a random position. Maybe I want it to teleport away. Let's try that. Oh, froze me. So we see that when I entered in all that new information, the fish does teleport to another area, but I'm now stuck there and unable to move for 1 second. So let's find out what happens when I remove the wait command. Am I still going to get a bunch of points? So we're going to tweak it just a little. And we're only going to do 0.1 second. And let's see what happens. Am I going to freeze in place, or... Well, it does freeze a little, but gives me a chance to, and it does slow down my ability to catch points. And with that, the game is finished for what I'm going to be showing. You can always add in more, like the sounds. As we learned here, if touching the fish, I could add in a sound, like meow or anything like that. Or you can change it however you want. You can even create your own different type of games by just following these. Have fun, play around. I'd love to see your games and what you can do. And if you want more information, you can always go to tutorials here on the Scratch. They can go into more in-depth on how to design certain games, how to get a screen to continue to scroll, and other things. But if you'd like me to show you some more advanced stuff, then just email us at Adventure Club and I'll start making those videos. But until next time, let me show you the game I've been working on, and I hope you guys have a fun summer. So here's the game I was talking about, and over here it has instructions. So when you create yours, you'll have this area that you can edit as well. Another thing is you can also click the See Inside button and it will open up your Scratch account and you can see the coding for it. This works for almost all other games that have not been set to private. So, quick demonstration of my game. And that is a short demonstration. I hope you all have a wonderful summer, and I can't wait to see all your lovely creations. Have a great one!